Support this podcast via our Patreon and get more writerly goodness. Visit patreon.com/nanocast to join up.
Welcome to NaNoWriMo Every Month. My name is J. Daniel Sawyer. I'm the author of some 20 books, 34 short stories, and numerous articles and other things, and I am your guide on this journey to use NaNoWriMo to level up to professional output levels. Welcome to The Questions, Episode 29. Sgt Mike says, I write science fiction, specifically military science fiction. What can I do to appeal to more female readers who traditionally aren't fans of this genre without writing formulaic PC drivel that offends my regular audience? What are your thoughts on reaching target audiences beyond your regular fan base? Well, Sarge, the first thing to do is not assume that females don't traditionally read military science fiction. They do. They've always done that. There have been women in the military either as service members or as the wives of service members for longer than there has been science fiction. Basically, the issue you want to tackle if you want to actively recruit a wider female readership than you've got now or than you're worried that you'll get is your packaging. You want to package your books in a way that look appropriate for the subgenre, but that look inviting to the demographic you're targeting, in this case, women. The best way to do that is to find some female friends. You're in the service, you must have some female officers or enlisted folk around you who you could run covers by, and ask them to help you develop your branding. In terms of actual writing and characterization, the best way to do it is to develop your female characters as well as you develop your male characters. A few years ago, I got stuck on a panel at a science fiction convention about women in refrigerators. And when I got up on the panel was 5 women and me. Everyone was talking about sexist writing tropes and whatnot. And then the moderator who had put the panel together gets to me and says, "And then there's you." And I said to the audience, "I'm the only guy here. I sense an ambush." She's like, "No, I actually put this panel together because you're a male author who writes really good female characters, and we all want to know how." Which was hugely flattering, but also kind of made me raise an eyebrow, because there are loads and loads of writers out there who are better than me. There were loads and loads of writers at that convention who are better than me, even at this one little thing. But I was on the hot seat, so I gave it my best answer, which was, when I write female characters, or characters who are different from me in any way whatsoever, I write them as person first, culture second, gender third. And unless it's a huge part of their culture, sexual orientation is 4th or 5th or 6th down the list. In my opinion, and I realize that this is a hugely divisive issue everywhere, in my opinion, treating people as people first and everything else second or third is the best way to respect them as human beings. When you treat someone by other standards, whether you're treating them as a woman first, or as a man first, or as a Pakistani first, or as a white person first, or as a Japanese person first, or whatever it is, you treat someone as something other than person first. You're treating them in a manner that is racist, sexist, bigoted, whatever. It doesn't mean you're a racist, a sexist, a bigot, whatever. It means that you're addressing someone as something other than the individual that they are. It's really important for interpersonal relationships to treat people as people first rather than as their ethnicity, their position, their religion, what have you. Unless you're talking about a arm's length relationship with someone who is defined in their relationship to you by their position, such as your boss or a minister in a religion that you belong to or something like that. But when it comes to characterization, you will get your most vivid, most realistic characterizations the deeper you go into the head of the person who is that character. Your impulse not to bring political correctness into the equation is a very good one, but don't bring anti-political correctness into the equation either. When it comes to developing a character with broad appeal, you want to, as much as possible, leave your ideology at the door and work on the character's ideology. Your ideology will flavor the story, but the more your ideology flavors your characters, the more samey your characters are going to feel. They're going to feel less and less like distinctive people, and eventually the illusion of verisimilitude will be shattered. So when it comes to attracting female readership to your military science fiction, you want to write your characters well and you want to package it well. I would say some fantastic packaging on military science fiction geared for women or geared for a gender-balanced audience in recent years has come from Mike Shepard's Chris Longknife series, which I think is published by Baen, and from Linda Nagata's Red series, and I don't remember at the moment who's publishing Linda Nagata, but she is fantastic and totally worth taking a look at. She's doing some really fantastic stuff recently, and the packaging is very, very good on her books. Whoever they've got designing her covers is really on the ball. In terms of reaching target audiences beyond your regular fan base, the best two ways to do that are to write an amazing book that everyone has to tell their friends about. But we're trying to do that every time, and we only hit some of the time. And the other major one is to cross-pollinate with other authors. You can trade sample chapters in the backs of books. You can address their audiences if you're a podcaster, you can trade promo spots on podcasts. Find ways to network with other authors who have target audiences that might like your stuff, and then through that other author to get in front of them. And be willing to reciprocate, or if you don't have enough of a fan base to make it worth it for them, be willing to offer them something that they need in return. This is a barter type of universe. You take advantage of it and make sure everyone comes out with a fair deal, and you'll be able to do business with whoever that is again. So I'm just looking over the question, and I think that's about it. I suppose the other thing you could do to appeal to more female readers would be to have the story concerned with things that are more likely to concern women. But I don't know what you write, so I don't know whether or not you've already got that nailed or have any concrete suggestions on how to shift that. And it may be possible that you can't shift that because you're a guy. But the person to ask about that particular thing, about writing stories particularly to appeal to a female audience, would be your girlfriend or wife or close female friend who likes to read. I suppose the other thing I could suggest is to pick up some books by M.L. Buckman. Buckman is the king of military romance for women, and he originally thought he was writing military suspense and military science fiction until he got bounced from enough houses that he went looking for why, and he passed his book around to several very sophisticated readers he knew, and many of them were saying, "Oh, this is really fantastic suspense, but the romantic element is so strong that it's a romance." Well, the man has a career I would kill for, and he's very, very good. So his stuff appeals across genders, across classes. He's told me that he gets email from couples in the military who read his books while one of them is in the field and one of them is on base at home. And it gives them something to talk about, especially when the spouse at home is not in the military. And it's helping to bring military couples together because it provides the civilian half of the couple with a vocabulary and a common set of experiences to give them more access to the headspace that their partner who is deployed acquires through being in combat. So anyway, Buckman is really worth checking out if you want to see some of the things that a military writer can do to appeal very strongly to both sexes. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. NaNoWriMo Every Month is written and presented by J. Daniel Sawyer and produced by Artistic Whispers Productions. Visit our website at NaNoWriMoEveryMonth.com and leave a tip in the tip jar or join the Patreon to support this podcast. NaNoWriMo Every Month is copyright 2016 by J. Daniel Sawyer and Artistic Whispers Productions and is released under a Creative Commons Non-Commercial Attribution No Derivatives license.